Hello and welcome back to In Focus. Before we go back to the studio with Sam and Emma, first we're going to watch a short video about the Creative Mental Health workshop they held at UCLan.
Today I'm doing a project called Objects and Us, and this is like a continuation project from a project that I did last year with Tate Liverpool and students from UCLan, where we created a zine. It's called Curious, and it was made in conjunction with LGBTQI+ students and allies as well. The zine explored the 5 steps to well-being and also incorporated our senses, and an element of the project was that we made objects to hold that may support our mental health and well-being, provide comfort, sensory soothing kind of objects. So I was invited to kind of develop that idea back here in UCLan for 6 months.
Do you think it's important for more people who have mental health to have more access to creative outlets?
Yeah, I definitely do. I think that anyone can be creative. You don't have to have like a degree in art or something. It is just about having fun and being playful. I think in our day-to-day lives that's kind of maybe taken away from us. So, you know, this is a really lovely opportunity for people to get together who might not know each other necessarily within campus, and just be together and experiment and play.
Yeah.
Did you bring it back?
No. Oh, I brought mine back.
Good.
Sorry.
Well done.
The whole reason why I wanted to do this in the first place was because I always wanted to give back and add value. And also last year I was going through mental health crisis myself, and UCLan was really there to support me, and I thought this would be my way to give back. And also ever since I know this sounds really cliche, but ever since I was young, I've always wanted to go out there and help people, and this really felt like it was my calling. And I've been absolutely enjoying it. Like, I love doing these mentoring, making a difference and adding positive change out there. And the student that I've been mentoring recently also wanted to book another additional sessions with me because he found it so helpful. And I had a meeting with Amy, who is in charge of all of the mental health services, and she agreed to it, which is great. So I'm still continuing mentoring. It's been absolutely amazing. It's the work that I do. It's not about the money or any other aspect of it. It's just the work that I do is so meaningful and has so much value that it's one of the best things I've ever done. Honestly, I keep telling people that I wish I knew what I know now, because 4 years ago I would have gone and changed my degree, and I would have gone something like this. Definitely, because I enjoy it so much.
How are you finding the workshops?
Yeah, it's really good. This is my first one, but yeah, it's been really good so far. I don't usually do artistic stuff like anything like that, so I decided to come along and see how it would be. But yeah, it's been really good. It's really open space, it's dead calm, really good, a creative environment.
Why did you decide to come to the workshop?
So I was invited here because I am a resilient peer support mentor within the uni, so it's my job to work with mentees who are fellow students, helping them with their mental health and well-being. So I was invited to come along as part of a wider workshop working to improve students' mental health and well-being. So yeah, I decided to come along, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
Got a band there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dress.
Hello and welcome back to In Focus. We are back here with Emma Preston, who is talking with us about the transgender community and her experience. So, what do you think some of the main misconceptions are about the transgender community in pop culture today?
I think there's a lot, but there's one that really stands out heavily, and that is when you see these activists going on a rampage, and there are, I'll be brutally honest, there are some that take it far too far and do no favours for the trans community whatsoever. However, this is the same for every time there's a rally of some kind. often they always go too far, but when it's transgender, there's a big focus on it. And what happens is that you find that media will find the worst photos possible. And it will probably be somebody who's got dead fat legs, a silver skirt up here, short crop top, weighing 20 stone. They'll take a picture and the media will put it out there as if that's transgender. And I just think, wow, that is so harsh. You know, when you see, for example, rebellion, the Extinction Rebellion, and they're gluing themselves. Yeah, we see that bit, but there's so many other people that don't do anything quite so aggressive. And it's just the same in the trans community. You know, if that's just one person that's had a photograph taken, and the media suddenly is trying to represent 500,000 people. That's ridiculous. But I am tarnished, no word of a lie, I am tarnished with exactly the same brush as that one photograph. And that is so utterly unfair. But it just shows you the power of the media, that they can actually do that. And I think that's really unfair, Sam.
I entirely agree with that. I was just wondering if there is any advice that you would give to young students that are going through a similar journey in like maybe transitioning or on their own personal journey with a gender identity.
Yeah, there's a word of help out there. You know, it's not like when I was young, back in the early 1900s during the Industrial Revolution, or it feels like it was that long ago anyway. You know, back in the 70s, if I'd uttered the words that I preferred playing with all the girls stuff. I really enjoyed playing football and army and scatter and getting mucky and stuff like that. But, you know, if I'd even made a suggestion that I thought something was different, I would have probably, as a minimum, been beaten up by my mates. It's a bit different now. There's people out there ready to help. We understand about mental health now. We understand that saying those words isn't some kind of taboo subject. I mean, I was talking about mental health before it was even a thing. I just didn't know I was. And, you know, I was saying how things had affected me really badly. And then suddenly, I think people like Davina McCall and people like that started saying, oh, mental health, mental health. Brilliantly, they brought it out into the fore, and then of course the two princes talked about it, and it became reality. Fantastic. But now at university, this is where you were asking. At university, we have the wellbeing team, absolutely brilliant team, and in fact I get help from them now. I'm not afraid to ask that I'm being counselled, you know, because. Well, what's wrong with saying that? You know, there's nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with that at all.
You know, and there's lots and lots of friends who are prepared to talk to you. In fact, I find, being an older person, that a lot of people migrated towards me and were almost like in a sort of matriarchal way. But I think, like, I always leave myself quite open to being approached. And you know, if you really want to know something, if you think you've got an issue with your gender identity and you want to talk to somebody, then approach somebody like me, because I will give it warts and all. You know, it's not an easy journey. And, you know, anybody in the LGBTQ world, the first step is always the hardest. Once you've made that first step, Step 2 is hard, Step 3 is less hard, less hard, less hard. And then before you know it, 6, 7, 8 years later, you're living your life. But you need help. You've got to ask for help. And there's lots of it out there. You just need to go looking. But my first port of call would always be, at university, my first port of call would always be the wellbeing team.
Absolutely. I think the access we have to resources like they can provide are really helpful. Fortunately, that is all we have time for today. I know we're out of time, but this has been a pleasure. Thank you very much, Emma, for coming on the show.
No, it's my pleasure. Thank you, Sam.
And thank you very much for joining us on In Focus. I have been Sam, and we will see you next time. Thank you.